is an example of a multipolar neuron, right? And this is actually showing you a neuromuscular junction here. This represents the striated muscle, the skeletal muscle that we were talking about. And we mentioned earlier that the motor neuron is most often a multipolar neuron, right? So here you see the dendrites, okay? And then we mentioned that the impulses will go through the dendrites and then the cell body, which is primarily going to hold all of the organelles. So you have the nucleus, the nucleolus, right? And then you have the cytoskeletal fragments here. And you're going to see, well, you don't really see it here, but you're going to have the mitochondria and ribosomes and everything around this area, okay? And we also mentioned that this cell body is also known as the soma, S-O-M-A. And as the impulse travels through here, it's going to reach the axon hillock, which is the initial segment of the axon, okay? And this is basically where the action potential generates. So if the impulse is able to travel and reach this area, this is where your axon, where the action potential will generate. And as soon as that is generated here, it will travel all the way to the end, which is the terminal buttons here. And then we mentioned that inside, okay, you're going to see, let's see, you remember the myelin? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's basically the myelin. And this is, I want to say the satellite cell just because of the way that it's structured. But ideally, you're going to find a Schwann cell as well. So I just don't like the way that it's pictured because it looks like a satellite cell, but I'm not sure if they want to depict it as a Schwann cell. So just be sure that you remember the difference between those two, okay? Because remember, this is a peripheral one, and so there are only two glial cells that we're dealing with, okay? So, and then we mentioned that the satellite cells are the ones that help in maintaining also the environment and things like that in the periphery. And then the Schwann cell we mentioned are the ones that make the myelin. And then here we see the terminal buttons, and this is where your neurotransmitters will basically release the neurotransmitters, and then it's going to stimulate the muscle. Specifically, the neurotransmitters released here is the acetylcholine, which I think we mentioned before. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like how this is structured. Off the record.